Hey guys, your boy Mark back on the video. 21st of December 2024. Still got four more days till Christmas. Got my Christmas tree back there. I know I keep pointing it out, but I just like pointing it out because yeah. I'm here to give you yet another 2024 movie thoughts. This is gonna be on Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. They just have to remind you, don't they, about the fact this is a cinematic universe. Like Ballerina from the world of John Wick. It's kind of cringe. Those like subtitles, just to remind you this is part of a universe. Um, but yeah, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. 9 years since Mad Max Fury Road came out, they did announce that they wanted to make this movie long time ago. They finally did. That took a long time, didn't it? But it finally happened. And I'm just gonna be blunt, just say how I truly feel. I watched this on the very phone that I'm filming this on. Actually, this is actually my mom's phone. And the reason I, film on my mom's phone is because because there's hardly any storage space on my own. And I can't stop adding memes and other stuff, to that phone. So yeah. I will admit, since I watched this on the phone, there was a lot of stuff in this movie that just didn't really grab my attention, and like I was kind of just like letting it play, not really looking at it. That's the point of films. You're supposed to be entertained. You're supposed to want to be engaged. If nothing is grabbing you, it just feels like bloody torture to freaking force yourself to engage. You know what I mean? And that's yeah. But yeah. And yeah, if you've never noticed my reviews, I've been way more blunt and just honest about how I feel about films lately. Something I wish I'd done years ago. The internet, man. It's yeah, a blessing and a curse. Double-edged sword, as they say. I want to elaborate on this type of thing in a video that I have in mind to make. But yeah. Yeah. But so this is a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road that focuses on Furiosa from their movie, who, if I'm being honest, I don't really think was that interesting of a character. She was clearly the main character of that over Max himself. Just because she has a lot of screen time doesn't make her interesting. Just being honest, that's how I feel personally. Yeah. Now what am I trying to say? So yeah, I kind of sort of watched this, like, I started off, I was like, throughout, it's pretty to look at. I'll say that. Visually beautiful. That being said, doesn't mean shit if, the plot and story isn't engaging me. You know what I mean? Because for me, there was one thing I loved about this movie, that I really loved about this movie, that's going to be Chris Hemsworth. Holy crap, he really carried this movie for me. He was so funny and, he was so funny and entertaining to me the whole way through. And honestly, for the first, hour of this movie, you could argue he really was the main character. Because, I remember, of course, we all knew this was going to be Furiosa's movie. But I will say that the thing is, we knew this was gonna be Furiosa's movie, but when they announced Chris Hemsworth and then you see him on the poster, I was like, wow, I just know he's gonna be entertaining as hell. And he absolutely was. And since he was, I figured he was the villain of this. He is definitely the villain. He is entertaining the whole time. Like I said, I love him in this. I would probably watch and enjoy just a video of all of his scenes. and honestly, it might be my favorite character in any Mad Max film. I'm starting to think maybe this franchise really isn't for me after all. I know if you remember my Mad Max Fury Road review way back in 2015, yes, I did review it back then. I was like, this is a 9 out of 10. I didn't really think it was a 9 out of 10. This is another thing I want to talk about in a future video about authenticity and societal pressure and all that. I'm not going to title it something like that. I was going to title it, but then my friend came up with a better thing. And not necessarily better, but way less pretentious sounding, you know. Yeah, because the internet, man, really can, as Chucky would say, fuck with your mind. And yeah, if I'm being real, I don't think I ever really liked Fury Road that much. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's non-stop action. Doesn't mean it was good action, you know? Like think about, like, the execution of stuff, you know? Again, I'll elaborate further in a video I want to do if I actually end up making that video and don't forget about it, or, you know, but I do want to get to that video soon, because I think it's made me feel so much more free, you know. Anyway, but yeah, Chris Hemsworth, he was awesome in this. I love him. I can't praise him enough in this. And actually, since I was talking about how you could argue he was like the main character of the first hour of the movie, Anya Taylor-Joy, who plays Furiosa in this one, she doesn't show up for over an hour in this movie. Like, I mean, real soon after, like, just as the movie hits the 1 hour mark, like, just after that, you know what I mean? The reason for that being is this film takes place over several years, and the first hour, you know, it was her younger self, you know, her kid self, and that's why I'm like, yeah, I feel like maybe Chris Hemsworth was kind of pretty much the main character of this. Yeah, I haven't watched the trailer, so I don't know if this is spoiling anything, but what's his name? Immortan Joe's in this from Fury Road. He's the other thing I really enjoyed about this movie. He was so cool to see him. He's such a cool character. The thing is, though, he's not in it too much, but I do think he serves his purpose. You know what I mean? And he was very entertaining. If he had like as much screen time as maybe Chris Hemsworth, which was never gonna happen, of course, because you know the role he plays in this movie, you know, not exactly like that big of a role. Obviously played by a different actor than in Fury Road, because not only is it years before, but rest in peace to Hugh Keays-Byrne, I think that's his name, the actor who played Immortan Joe. He was also in the first Mad Max movie as a different character, another villain, I believe. So rest in peace to him, man. But yeah, Immortan Joe, very cool in this movie. But yeah, Chris Hemsworth stands out to me so much more. And Anya Taylor-Joy, when she actually gets in this movie, she's very entertaining. Yeah, I enjoy her character a lot, you know. Honestly, way more than Charlize Theron's portrayal, honestly. I haven't watched Mad Max Fury Road, and I don't think I've watched it since 2016, actually. And I have it on Blu-ray, and like I said, maybe in reality, the Mad Max movies just aren't for me. I did watch the first Mad Max, and that bored me to piss, honestly. You know, but yeah, I don't know what more to say, really, except I got one more thing to say, and I think I very easily could have forgotten this, but thankfully my brain cooperated with me today, in particular. And I got a pretty funny story, actually. I was about to get my phone and, you know, try to go to a thing I sent someone. But last month, my grandmother and her sister and her son, my grandma's sister's son, my uncle, obviously, they went on a trip to a different country. Yeah, one of our heritage places, whatever you call it. Not gonna say where, you know, but my grandma said that my aunt was watching this movie, Furiosa, on the flight. And she said that there was a moment in the movie that actually gave my aunt a big fright, and that was hilarious to hear, man. That was hilarious to hear. Honestly, yeah. I don't know what movement that was supposed to be. Nothing ever made me jump out because of the way I was watching it on my phone, you know. Not my phone, my mom's phone. But that was a funny story to hear. And even my grandma, actually, this one I think I'll need to see what I said in my message. Um, Holy crap. Oh, wait, never mind. I thought I saw an old conversation where I was talking about, I wonder who will be Furiosa. That's from 15th of September, 2016. And we were talking about, hypothetical, like if we made our own Mad Max movie back then, you know? Alright. Anyway, this is the real conversation I wanted to talk about. Yes, I still got the Dune theme on Messenger. And if this stupid thing would load, so I can say... Alright, this stupid thing isn't loading, so I'm just going to tell you guys from my memory. Hopefully I remember it correctly. My grandma was like, when she saw my aunt watching Furiosa, she was like, that's that Mad Max. And then she was like, I thought that movie was dumb. And and they got the wrong casting with Mel Gibson too. So it was something like that. I would say the exact thing, whatever it was I wrote in a conversation from a month ago about stupid messengers being a dickhead and not loading up because it's a dickhead. But yeah, I don't know what I'd rate this movie. I did kind of spend a lot of watching this movie, kind of just letting it play because, you know, a good chunk of it wasn't grabbing me, honestly, like I said. And I do think I like this more than Fury Road, though, honestly. And I remember my good friend Tony Estrada, 22 Tiger Dude. He from the beginning he said, I don't like this movie. I'll give it a 1. I think he gave it a 1 out of 5. And there's other dickhead who I used to be friends with, who has actually been on this channel before. But I'm not gonna say his name because he's a fucking asshole. But even he would like just start a fight over anything and giving Tony crap just because he didn't like it. If I'm remembering correctly, I don't think he liked it. I don't like, you know. But yeah, that guy's a complete asshole. And yeah, that's really all I got. What should I rate this movie out of 10? I don't know. Maybe a 3. 3 out of 10, maybe. Just because... And Chris Hemsworth was the only good thing about it, to me. You know, really. And the Morton joke, but he doesn't have anywhere near as much screen time as Chris Hemsworth did in this. But yeah, Chris Hemsworth, so much screen time. He really carried this movie for me, and I had a smile on my face every time Chris Hemsworth was on screen, which was a very huge chunk of this movie. You know? That's really all I got. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm harsh with my ratings, but I don't care. I'm sick of being dishonest. I'm sick of not saying how I really feel due to societal pressures. That's the thing I'm talking about, you know. But yeah, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out. Love you guys. Have a good one.